Hello, my name is Chris Nault, and I am excited to be teaching today's micro lesson on account-based marketing 101, the basics to help you level up your demand generation. This presentation is designed for go-to-market leaders of tenured companies who sell services or products to other businesses. In today's lesson, I hope you'll learn what is ABM, how to prevent your campaign from being spam, the resources that you'll need, the processes, and we're going to go through ROI expectations. But first, I want to do a quick how did I get here with ABM? So for 17 years, I've been a principal of a marketing agency that did not sell outbound services. And I had a very hard stance that outreach at scale was spam. But tools like Zoom Info and 6 Sense were creating such high demand, I had to do some investigating. There was no way companies could be selling services, much less going public on the stock exchange on an illegal market. So after hundreds of hours, including a couple of conferences and meeting with software product teams at Apollo, Rollworks, and HubSpot, I found something out that a lot of marketers are still battling with. ABM is not spam. And I am a full-fledged AB maniac. In fact, when we compare the return to traditional advertising, it almost seems like ABM is a competitive advantage. In our benchmark survey with Databox, over 100 companies participated. And I was really blown away that 2-to-1 companies see lead gen coming more from inbound than their outbound, which blows my mind. We'll provide a link in the resources to joining and the results of the survey. But let's talk about how to ABM without being spam. We're going to follow the rules laid out by the US Can-Spam Act. And I will say they did a very good job putting together a business guidance brochure to walk you through these things. That also will be available in the resources. First, do not use false or misleading header information. Your from, to, reply to, and routing information should all include the originating domain name and email address, so you can accurately identify the person or business who initiated the message. Do not use deceptive subject lines. I know some of the things that we sell are not always the most exciting, and we're looking for innovative ways to increase open rates, but deceptive subject lines is not it. Identify the message as an ad. They actually go in detail here, saying that there's a lot of leeway. The fact that this is a commercial content email itself is an ad, so there's some gray area here. It's important to be aware. Tell recipients where you're located or where your business is located. Tell recipients how to opt out of future marketing emails. Honor their opt-out and monitor what others are doing on your behalf, stating, yes, it is okay to have others sending emails on your behalf. You should just accept accountability for their actions. So how do you know if this Can-Spam Act regulates you? 1, if you're in the United States. 2, if your message contains only commercial content or the primary purpose is commercial, then it must comply with the Can-Spam Act. Again, we'll provide a link to the ftc.gov guidance document. A lot of us are very familiar with inbound marketing. Being a HubSpot partner, I was kind of like bred into the space. And I do want to say that ABM plus inbound is a very powerful combination. And inbound marketing is great. The practice of ensuring your product or service can be found when a potential customer is in market is absolutely necessary. In fact, they work best in that PBJ sort of way. ABM is not intended or recommended to replace your inbound marketing. With great inbound, it's done consistently. With great ABM, it's also done consistently. With inbound and ABM, the buyer's journey is very important in the consideration process. In both inbound and ABM, you are running digital ads. You are creating great content. And you typically want to help first and sell second. So yes, there are several similar characteristics, and it really feels good knowing that great inbound habits mirror great ABM habits. So what's the difference? So with inbound, we're talking about marketing to all, and all is the total addressable market. Whereas ABM, you're able to market to one individual person or multiple individual persons at one company. With inbound, the contact and the person that you are engaging with may or likely is not the buyer, especially for larger organizations. Whereas ABM, you know exactly who the people are that you're reaching out to and whether or not they'll be a part of the buying process. Ads will run to all. Now, we all know you can segment your database of who the ads is running to, but essentially you'll still be running the ad to everybody in the data set until your budget runs up. With ABM, your ads run only to the people whom you are engaging with. And when you're helping first with inbound, you're really talking to marketing qualified leads. And then you're selling second to hopefully the sales qualified contacts. With ABM, you're helping and you're selling to the sales qualified leads. And I think this is a really powerful differentiator of the two programs. In 2024 and beyond, companies that want to grow need to have both. Next, it's important to just do a quick checklist for the tools and resources you're going to need to run a successful ABM campaign. So I have the resources listed to the left and our recommendations to the right. So you're going to need a CRM, a depository for your contacts and retained conversations. Obviously, HubSpot is the leader. Sales enablement. So this is from deal tracking, but also setting meeting links and prospecting. HubSpot is the #1 sales tool in the world right now, thanks to G2. For marketing and content, you're going to need a lot of both. So our vote is HubSpot. With data enrichment, there's of course some powerful tools with Clearbit. Apollo.io, as far as data quality and ease of use, wins every time. And for ad placement, we're big on Rollworks and a new company, BrandGen. And then very important, you're going to need to have a programmatic leader, someone that is organizing the moving parts and reporting. We like to call them the Scrum half. They should be a very empowered sales and marketing member. I do not recommend putting someone in a junior role to handle this. Now let's talk at a high level how to run effective ABM campaigns. I like to say it's as easy as 1, 2, and 3. First, define your targets. Then you're going to generate the collateral, and then you're going to start sending outreach. When defining your targets, we need to create a target account list, essentially allowing us to skip the sign waving and the attempt of standing out away from the crowd. You get to go straight to the hello, my name is phase. I really consider this, after 20 years, to be the holy grail of marketing. And there just has never been a tool set like this. So now we can literally create lists or target accounts of companies and contacts from those companies. Nearly half the companies who joined our survey are using target accounts as a part of their ABM, but only half. So there's still over 50 companies that are running ABM plays that have not started with what I would define to be the very first thing you should do. So you need to have a tool where you're going to enrich your data. Obviously, we choose Apollo. You're going to want a sales and marketing alignment meeting. I know veteran salespeople are lovely to get in meetings, but we do need their brain and we need marketing's brain. Bonus point, if you're able to get somebody from the service team to join too, they often have a lot of really powerful insights. When you're having the sales and marketing alignment meeting, you're going to mine your CRM and your sales data, and you're going to want to find ideal company factors. My favorite ones to look at: location, industry, employee count, or revenue count, and keywords. Then we want to identify who are these companies that you sold well to with low friction. That will help define those variables we just discussed. Almost like the DNA patterns. Next, we want to figure out who are these companies that we're speaking to the most. We'll call these buyer personas. Are you selling into IT? Are you selling into sales? Hopefully it's a combination of several people. We recommend 3.5 people per company are being engaged. Now you have one or more traits to create company list and buying personas. Let's see, we're going to take these identifiable traits and plug them into your data enrichment tool of choice, i.e. Apollo. If you're new to list building, I recommend Apollo.io for 2 reasons. One, they have a free forever seat, and it's very easy to use. There's a link in the resources that'll get you a free account. There's plenty of other great tools out there. I'm on the customer advisory board. Feel free to send any questions our way. Now, a quick pro tip. If you're creating company lists that are thousands of companies long, you're moving in the right direction, but we need you to define these lists down to smaller groups of the few hundreds. The easiest way to do this is to simply limit the bandwidth of revenue range from the companies. You should know the type of companies that you sell to, whether they're smaller in like 5 to 10 million range, or if they're larger, like in the 500 million range. By using these mechanisms, you'll help cut this company list down to a more palatable group. Every time we deal with a company that's new at ABM, you want more, and I can appreciate that. But the golden rule, updated for 2024, the max capacity for an individual user is 250 companies, 875 contacts from those companies per quarter. That still gives you plenty of room to use your mailbox as normal. And this will keep you away from the scary Google gods being mad at reaching your sending limits. This is very important. I would have said this number was 350 a year ago and up to 500 several years ago. For some of you, you might be saying, that's not enough. What if we want to use dummy domains or fake emails? Well, one of our first slides, and we talked about the spam rules, you're breaking the spam law. So that's not a great idea. So we do not recommend creating dummy domains or creating dummy email accounts for those dummy domains or creating fake accounts for your primary domain. One of the real realities of this program is if you want to email, you need to use a real person's email. The second important phase when you're launching an ABM cam is all around generating collateral. And based on the size of your campaign, you may or may not be setting yourself up for a whole lot of content creation. So definitely find a great tool. We really love HubSpot. They just come out with this new Marketing Plus function. It's amazing. You're going to want email copy. And I recommend you make 3 variants for every email. There's another micro lesson about the email frequency and outreach best practices and email copy. But for every step, you want 3 variants. This will keep the Google gods guessing. You're going to want a landing page template that's very easy to clone because you're going to want different variants for the different subsections of your ABM program. An example would be if you're marketing to several industries and several personas. My recommendation is that you have a landing page with verbiage and graphics that match each of those industries and each of the sub-personas within the industry. Next, you're going to want to get buy-in from your sales team. This can be a battle. They have strong opinions. They want easy to close deals, and their instincts are going to tell them, slap them in the head with a sales pitch, but that's the opposite way of going about it. Every single time we compare email, just campaign results from traditional sales emails to more friendly emails, the friendlier, more relaxed, hello, how are you emails win sometimes 4x. And you're going to want to leverage personalization. Now, here's a micro lesson on personalization. We're going to use the traits that we use to create the company list and the contact list as our personalization tokens. And it turns out that only 65% of the companies we surveyed are even leveraging personalized content. If you are using HubSpot Marketing Hub or Marketing Plus, You absolutely have no excuse for not using personalization. It's just too easy to set up. You've defined common traits at the company level and you defined buyer personas. So why would you not leverage that to your advantage and speak directly to those people? The third thing we're going to talk about for an ABM campaign is outreach. Now, this is great. You've done all the hard work and now you get to hit play. There's two components. We're really talking about email outreach and target display ads. With your email tips, they should be short and sweet. You should avoid the urge to pitch slap, and you should personalize. For target display ads, you're going to want to personalize those ads and those landing pages. This will essentially create a rinse and repeat function. There are more steps. There's plenty to learn in each of these 3 steps. I think we're going to have to make a micro lesson out of each of these eventually because they are really hard to bring down. Now, this is most CFO's favorite part of the story, which is what is the ROI? And how do you know if it's worth running the risk of implementing an ABM system? So here's the basic equation I use with potential customers. Excuse me, if inquiring about our services done for you. So first, we want to know the revenue average of a new customer in the first year. And remember, our ABM program, I may not have said this actually, is all about net new logo acquisition. So what does a first customer look like for you in the first year? How many users do you want us to run ABM for? How many are you planning on running it for? You should average a cost of about $4,000 per month per user. This is the cost of labor, software, and ads. You're going to want to be shooting for at a really bad low number is 2.5% of the companies you reach out to turning into direct pipeline. So we're going to say that your company's first year value of a new customer is $50,000. And we're going to also pretend you're having 5 users running this ABM program. So now we're going to run the math. $50,000 times the 2.5% of 1,000 companies times the cost to run gives you 6.25 million in estimated pipeline. Your cost for the year, $240,000. If you have a 50% close rate, you've achieved 1,202,000% return on your investment. And earlier I spoke to, it almost feels like a competitive advantage because these are not inflated numbers. If you move that 0.025% up 0.005, this number climbs and climbs and climbs. Now, if you're selling low dollar items like almost a B2C model, this is not the route for you. But if you're selling a specialized pump or you have a specialized service, you know exactly who your customers are and you've been in business for a while, I don't see any reason you should not be doing this. As the kids say, the maths. So before I round things out, I do want to sprinkle in a touch of nuance because I just think this is so important and really rarely mentioned. So as you're running ABM, the nuance can prevent the success of a campaign, but it can also prevent the campaign from even happening. You know, that crave for perfection. Here's a couple of things that will absolutely have positive or negative effects on your campaign that you do need to consider. Your brand power. Are you a recognizable force? Are you an industry leader? Searchability. Are they able to find you when they look for you? What is your give? Like, what incentive are you giving people in your outreach that is going to push them to want to talk to you? We've done everything from free safety gloves, full kits. Of course, there's the consultations. Even doing like physical events with ticketing can be a really powerful tool for ABM. Are you leveraging personalization? Is your message too broad or is it targeted? What are the internal expectations like? Does your company have a support system where you're going to be celebrated when you achieve positive momentum, or are you going to be jeered when you make a mistake? It's very important to have a growth mindset and a positive attitude when running one of these campaigns. And then really like leadership. Who are you working with here? Are you going to be are you a junior marketer tasked with lifting the entire weight on your own? Or is this going to be a collaborative team effort? I can tell you at growth, we thrive when we collaborate. And it's very much a deciding factor of whether or not your campaign is going to work. So some of these things you obviously would inherit when you're being tasked with launching a campaign, but progress beats perfection every single time. We just covered a lot about ABM, and I have been trying to boil this down for years. I hope that you have questions. Please feel free to ask them. We're going to pause the recording and then let them rip.